What's good, YouTube? Coffee on the vid, and you guys see this news about Lil Wayne, Lil Tunchi. It's hit the news all over the place that Wayne could be facing up to 10 years for, a felon being in possession of a gun and ammo. And just to clarify, I mean, we got to break it down anyways. This is, an old incident. This is from last December. I'm sure a lot of people remember this. Wayne was with a bunch of people on a plane that was headed for the West Coast, stopped through in Florida, Miami. And if I recall correctly, it wasn't just weapons on the plane. You know what I mean? There was drugs, like I want to say there was dog food, some powder, coke, weed, Molly, like that. There was all kinds of different drugs and weapons on the plane. And, Wheezy's lawyer at the time stepped in and was very proactive and got Wayne up out of there. As you know, in situations, I've spoke about this on the channel before, like if you're pulled over in a vehicle and there's drugs and guns, right? And there's multiple people and no one has it on their person, it's hard for them to charge one individual person. A lot of times everyone gets charged, and if no one says anything, the case ends up getting thrown out. And like I said, at the time, Wheezy's lawyer stepped in and was like, hey, let my client go. There's not enough to charge him. As it seems that was what the situation was, that there was all this different contraband, I guess we'll call it, on the plane, but not on anyone's person. But now, 11 months later, almost a year later, the feds have stepped in and charged Wayne. And I don't know, they're saying this is a possession charge. So I don't know, man. Maybe Wayne can fight this, because I'm led to believe it was not on his person, right? If he wasn't charged right then and there at that time. But I don't know. The feds are playing hardball with Wayne, so we'll have to see what the next step is here, what goes on. If you guys remember, Wayne is a felon. He did that year for gun possession back in 2010 or so. I remember he got out 2011, like right when New Year was hitting, and performed at Times Square or whatever. Now I don't want to call them conspiracies, but I guess just theories. Well, I guess we could call them conspiracy theories, hitting about Lil Wayne. A lot of people are saying, oh, look, Wheezy, meets with Trump, endorses Trump. Trump loses the election. Now the feds are coming for Wayne. They're targeting people that were aligned with Trump. But, technically right now we're still under the Trump regime. The new president hasn't been sworn in yet. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible there could be a connection there because, if they're so close to the end of the regime, like if someone did have that in their agenda that they wanted to get at Wayne for that reason, within the federal government, since it's close to the end of Trump's run here, they could get the ball rolling now. And, a Fed case could take quite a while in court, you know what I mean? Because I see people talking about, well, Trump could pardon him. You got to be sentenced to be pardoned. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You guys hit the comments with your thoughts on this. This happens from time to time, though. The feds will pick up a case that was dismissed or just not charged previously. I don't know, like example, you guys remember who was a fan of who used to watch The Sopranos? If you remember, that was going down at the end of the show. Tony Soprano had a gun case, like local, the sheriff in New Jersey where he lived or whatever. And, local police, that got thrown out. His lawyer Swiss cheesed that case up, got it thrown out. And then, the FBI came in later and hit him with the gun case, or he got word that's what they were doing, and they were going to try to roll it into a RICO investigation they had going. I mean, there's no RICO against Wayne, but I'm just saying it's the same idea that, They're charging him for an old incident. So that's a tough break for Lil Wayne. But let's break it all down in the comments. Let's talk about it. But let's move on to some Westsidegunn news blog that I wanted to drop for you guys real quick here. I got a little clip to roll for y'all.
Tried to divide New York because New York niggas was in there deep when they was attacking our hip hop. And then we said, but we have Griselda. And then they said, but you niggas never claimed Buffalo niggas before. That's true, they didn't. Well, who the fuck was from Buffalo to claim before?
Rick James.
Right. Yeah, Rick. No, we think the Google Dolls. You know what I'm saying, man. Listen, we have a very, very special guest in the building. Honored to have him here, friend of the show.
Boom.
See, Breeze. It hit different.
I ain't hear one reason.
It hit different. Wes, what's good with you, King?
Man, I'm blessed, man.
No, I know, because you're looking like money, man. You look good. You look like the merch sales is true.
All right, so you guys hear that clip? That was from Westsidegunn's appearance that he just had on the Joe Budden podcast that, at the very beginning of the episode. And, a lot of people already been talking about that episode, myself included. As you know, Westsidegunn announced Shady Records, the deal is done. He fulfilled his obligation with the release of The Sunshine, Who Made the Sunshine. But he took the high road. And shouted them out. There was some tensions and frustrations between them. But, I've talked about that extensively on this channel. But what I wanted to talk about that little clip there is, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Griselda, their movement, what they do. They're just on their own level, in my opinion. Very unique style, the art they use, their sound, all that. Griselda's dope. But a part of what makes them so dope and, gives them that unmatched energy. If you heard what Joe Budden was saying there was, he brought up the whole Buffalo thing when they were talking about New York and how people would say, well, you guys out there in the city, you guys don't claim Buffalo. And then he was talking about before Griselda, who was from Buffalo, and I think it was Rory, was Rick James. You had Rick James, which obviously Rick James, soul and all that music, you know what I'm saying? Legend. But we're talking about just straight up as a rapper, as an MC, you didn't really have that from Buffalo as far as on a major scale. You had producers. There's a white guy named Emil who did beats for Big Daddy Kane, D12, Eminem. You had Stevie J, who isn't actually, a lot of people say Buffalo, but he's really from, I believe, Rochester, New York, but still kind of, a Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? They used to be a part of the 716 area code. Now they're the 585, but they're still Western New York. But you just didn't have someone straight up out of Buffalo. And now we got the dopest artists in the game on the come up from Buffalo. And that's what makes them so special to me, is because having roots to that area, of course, that's huge to me. You know what I mean? But they put a city, I've discussed this before, but on this channel, but that's huge. They put a place on the hip hop map that when it came to hip hop didn't really exist, that people waved off and kind of laughed off what's Buffalo? You know what I mean? And they did it. They got Buff on the map. And the way Budden, who's really from Jersey, actually, ain't even from New York City, but I know New York, New Jersey is right next to each other. But anyways, the way Budden was saying, people would say, well, y'all didn't claim Buffalo. Now people out of New York are giving props to Buffalo, respecting Buffalo. You know what I mean? That's huge. Tapping in the comments from your, where you're from, and if there is people in hip hop that have put that area on the map, or if that area doesn't really exist in the hip hop map, in the hip hop world. You guys remember Cool Cal? He was repping Milwaukee. Obviously his run in the rap game, he didn't last, but I'm just saying he at that time put a place on the map in hip hop that I believe. I don't think there was no one from Milwaukee. You know what I mean? But that's huge, and that's just a part of what's always going to be so legendary about Griselda, among many other things of their movement that is so dope. But that is going to be something that can never be taken away from them. You know what I mean? So hopping in the comments, guys, with all that, with your thoughts on all that, Wheezy, let's break it all down. Sub to the channel if you're new. Make sure to hit the bell. It's J Coffee Talk. We blog music, news, sports, and much more. And I'm gone.